Dear friend, dear fellow human being all over the planets, Allah upon the Baha'i greeting to all of you in many, many years to come on this planet. To those who are watching me when I'm not around, when my hardware turned into a software, I will be watching. So, we've been carrying this message through these videos. Tonight, I'm going to talk about another very important virtue. It's a spiritual virtue that's in a way largely is introduced by Baha'ullah for humanity. And that would be essentially the balance, moderations, the regulations, and understand the order of priority in this universe. None of the religions of the past, besides their covenant, which would be their successorships, they have not produced anything such as Baha'i faith to have a world order, a practical system by which guarantees that the faith of God will be established on the earth and relinquishing the responsibilities of such a huge responsibility from the individual shoulder. So the management of the progress of the faith is being handed out to world order of Baha'ullah. Through this order, a Baha'i faith becomes unique. No other religion has had this. People have to take it in their own hand to cause the establishment and promulgations of the religions of the past, not in this faith. I have few notes. Let me read one of them that's in the world Kitab Aqdas. Baha'u'llah says in the Kitab Aqdas, the Most Holy, the world's equilibrium had been upset through the vibrating influence of this most great, this new world order. He continues, the like which mortal eyes have never witnessed. We have never seen it, he says, this order that he's bringing up. Really, truly, the equilibrium has been upset. It's like a fraction. It's just the fractures that's going all around the planet. Sometimes passing through the individual. They don't know even if they're man or woman. And in the world, the words of paradise, another complementary tablet to the Most Holy Book, His Divine Majesty Baha'u'llah says, in all matters, moderation is desirable. If a thing carried to excess, it will prove a source of evil. That is huge. And in the Kitab Aqdas, as the glossary classification made by Shoghi Effendi, he says to be wise and tactful. So I'm going to put all of these things together. I've been talking to you myself in the past about the order of priority. This order of priority is very, very essential for us to understand where this order comes from, this order of Baha'u'llah. So based on these things, as I said, not only the order and this system has been a part of the Baha'i faith, it is a part of the individual. The man of no order, the man who lives chaotically, his things are not arranged, he suffers. So, we have to classify based on this order of priority, even our problems. How many problems we have? Which one is most essential to us, for us? and which one we have to spend more time for it. If we don't do it, things will mix up. The stress comes out, and pain, and a lot of things comes. And the simple solution is just like pulling a sliver out of a hand. The entire body will suffer, gets paralyzed just by one little sliver sometimes. And that lack of order in our life, keeping the balance, it causes that. So lack of it is that sliver. I've written in my notes, the lack of the balance, order, and moderation in our life, it makes a lot of good things to look bad. You know, they say honey is the best, but you have a lot of honey, it causes you a problem. Anything that goes out of the excess, as Baha'ullah says, it becomes a source of evil. Of course, every word of Baha'ullah, as Shoghi Effendi says, is relative. Okay? Now, if you teach a lot of Baha'i faith, it's no. There's no problem with that. If you love other people or God, there's no problem. Shoghi Effendi says, in everything you can be moderate, but keep the light. He loved lights. He says, in that you do not need to save. He liked a lot of love, lights. So, a good food, if it is excessive, it becomes a source of sickness. They're very good medicine. You have to have a little bit of this antibiotic, just exact amount, which is the moderation, the order, and the amount of it. Relative to body, that would be the moderations of that particular substance. It's not to say that 50% this way, 50% that way. No. It is to say that if a doctor says so many tablets of you have to be taken, that amount of the tablets, antibiotic, deals with the issues that you have in your body, the germs. Therefore, that is the order. That is the proper amount. That would be the moderations of that for your particular body. But if you don't do that, it becomes bad. I've seen it in the course of time in my life. This virtue of balance and moderation, it becomes automatic. It automatically acts. Sometimes I don't know it, but still the result is not that bad, and I wasn't even aware of it. It's much like you're driving a car. It becomes second nature. Instinctively, you push the gas and you stop the car when you have to. You don't think about it. It's like a file installed in your head. When the need comes, you do not need to think to refer to it. It's already there. The foot automatically acts. A balanced individual is like that. Because he's balanced, even at a time when he's rushed or to do something, he ends up making good decisions. So in order to make good decisions at a stressful time, at a hard time, we have to carry this virtue and attributes of balance in us to become our nature, to become a part of us. So I've written here in my notes that this balance and moderations, to understand this order of priority, first, it's just like every other qualities that I mentioned before. It appears like a feeling, you know, when you tidy things up in your house, you start to like it. But that's just a mood, just a feeling. If you go on, continue that, it will then become a habit. If you continue, it becomes an ethical part of you. Then there are things that you do on time. There are things that you will never do. It becomes ethics. If you act upon this more and more, then it becomes an inseparable part of your soul. You become a moderate, you become a balanced individual, You never run on doing crazy decisions. Everything you do is out of justice, out of balance, you see. Justified it will become. So, I've written also here this essence of this balance, this moderation. Let's understand, in ourself, we do have a selfhood. We have discussed this before. We're made out of material, so that's our self. This material, under the program of a vegetable program, it is assembled in these forms of molecules and cells. And they are coming into under another program of animal program, which makes this vegetable not only to stay alive, but also to move, to see, to hear, to taste, to smell, to touch. Those animal program creates communications. But besides that, there is also human soul inside, that he will take the whole thing and put it in the use that he wants. And the human self has to grow, has to develop, to reach to a certain height, climax, that it creates a